my prevention and injury care class, video journal 2. I think that I have definitely tried in the past to track my stuff, track my calories, my fats, my carbs and stuff. I was using a Macro Factor free trial on there, and it was definitely useful. It also tracked my water, and it showed me that it needed more water, as well as I was usually low on carbs, which made sense as to why I felt a little bit less energetic, I think. For the time I had it, it was useful. It showed me a few of the things that I lacked. I think that some things I've seen online that it might be a little bit better than like a daily calorie tracker is like weekly ones. So like obviously you have, your daily goals. If you only hit them like 3 days and you don't hit them 3 days and you overindulge one of those days or you don't eat as much those days, it won't be as good if you're weekly. But I mean more so like, let's say like one day you do like good for your diet, you eat what you're supposed to, you don't overeat or anything. And then that was Monday. And then Tuesday you eat what you're supposed to, but you eat a little bit less than you're supposed to. So your calories, your carbs, your proteins are all a little low. And on Wednesday, you go out with friends and you socialize and you watch a game and you drink beer or something, up your fats, your calories, your carbs, and then you overdo it that day more so than you should have, but not by a crazy amount, just a little bit excess. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're like chilling with it. Then at the end of the week, it says, hey, you failed your goals, do what you're supposed to do, you're good. And so it kind of balances out instead of just saying, hey, you failed Monday or you failed Tuesday, and then you did good Wednesday, even though you still technically failed by going way over. I think that is better for people that maybe are a little bit busier, or people that just like to have not as much of like I don't want to say structured, but like, it's easier for people to maintain, I think, doing it that way. Whereas when you try and start and you're doing everything, you're trying to be perfect at everything, you're trying to hit every last calorie, trying to get every, minute of sleep that you're supposed to, and then you look at your thing and you're like, dang, only did that 4 of my 7 days. It'll make you less motivated to keep trying and to keep doing it, rather than saying, hey, good job, the end of the week, you hit every goal you were supposed to, even though you were slightly lacking, you went slightly over your overall, it does make sense. As long as you're not going too much or too little on some of those days, I think you'll be fine. I think calorie trackers, apps like that allow you to just scan something before you eat it or before you make it into a meal, and then go along with that, and your whole day, it'll just make everything really, really easy. And then you can do the same thing for restaurants. Like the Macro Factor that I used, it allowed me to look up things. So if I went to like McDonald's or I went to like Raising Cane's, like out of town, I could look that menu item up on there and it would have all the stuff that's in there. Obviously, it's not going to be like exact because businesses use, different portions for things. Not every steak is like the same size as the other steak, but I think they're pretty close, pretty on there. And overall, I enjoy using it. They show me what I was missing, and I should log them again. I think the problem for most people isn't that they can't log it, it's just that they're not as motivated to keep track of everything. But when you keep track and you just scan it, it's really easy to, I think.